You've heard the phrase 1,000 times, right? Just have tawakkul. But what does that actually look like, in a real crisis? When the fear is creeping in, the danger is literally at your doorstep, and it feels like everything is about to fall apart. Well, that's what we're going to dive into.
So is it just doing nothing? Sitting back, kicking up your feet, and just waiting, hoping for the best? Is it this kind of spiritual paralysis where you just expect God to swoop in and fix everything for you?
Okay, or maybe it's about waiting for some kind of sign, right? Like a big, flashing neon sign from the heavens, or a dream that tells you exactly what to do, so you don't have to make the tough call yourself.
Or, and this is the big question, is it something else entirely? Something far more powerful, something active, strategic, a force that actually helps you move forward when every single part of you is screaming to just stand still.
See, we're not going to just throw definitions at you. That's boring. Instead, we're going to watch it play out in real time through one of the most intense and critical moments in the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. All right, let's get into our first section, effort before trust. Because here's the thing a lot of people miss. True divine trust, it doesn't start with waiting. Nope. It starts with action. It starts with you doing absolutely everything in your power. So let's get one thing straight right off the bat. Tawakkul is not being silent when you should speak up. It's not laziness when you need to act. And it's definitely not an escape from your responsibilities. It's actually the complete opposite. So look at this. When the prophet found out about the plot to kill him, what did he do? Did he just stay in bed and say, God will protect me? No way. He made a brilliant, detailed plan. He chose the perfect time to leave. He asked Ali to be a decoy in his bed. He snuck out in the middle of the night. He took a route nobody would expect. And he found a specific cave to hide in. This was all strategy, all human effort, executed to perfection. And that right there, that's the formula. It's not one or the other. It's a two-step dance. Step 1, you give it your absolute all, full effort. You do everything you can. Then, and only then, comes step 2, full trust. Okay, on to our next section, the moment in the cave. Because after all that planning, after all that effort, comes the test. This is that moment where the human plan stops and pure, unshakable trust has to take the wheel. Okay, I want you to really picture this. He and his best friend, Abu Bakr, are hiding in this small cave. The people trying to kill them are right outside. They are so close they can hear their footsteps. So close that if one of them just looked down, just glanced at their own feet, it would have been over. I mean, the danger was as real as it gets.
Now, Abu Bakr, his heart is pounding. He's terrified, not for himself, but for his friend. And in that moment, at the absolute peak of pressure, the prophet just turns to him with his incredible calm and says, "Don't worry, Allah is with us."
And that, my friends, is what real tawakkul looks like in high definition. It's not that the danger isn't there. It's that you have this deep, profound peace in the middle of the danger. No panic, no freaking out, no doubt. Even when your brain is screaming at you that you're completely trapped. All right, section 3, tie your camel first. This whole idea, this entire powerful concept really gets summed up in one famous, timeless principle. Let's unpack this analogy, because it's a good one. Now, it's really, really important to get this. Having tawakkul didn't suddenly make everything easy. It wasn't a magic wand. The prophet's journey was still incredibly hard. He still faced hunger, people rejecting him, betrayal, the pain of war, and losing people he loved. And that's because the real heart of tawakkul is this: your peace of mind, your certainty. It's not tied to what happens on the outside. It doesn't matter if you get the job or win the game or even get saved from the cave. Your heart is attached to one thing and one thing only: Allah. That's the foundation. That's what makes it unshakable. And this is such a great way to visualize it. On one side, you've got your part. That's the camel. You got to plan, you got to prepare, you got to act. You have to tie that camel up securely. But on the other side, that's what you hand over to Allah. The final results, the protection you can't give yourself, basically everything that's outside of your control. Okay, so let's bring this all home. Section 4, moving forward despite fear. How does this story from centuries ago have anything to do with your life right here, right now? Let's talk about it. Are you kind of struggling with something today? Maybe you're afraid of what's around the corner. Your plans feel shaky, the future feels, well, uncertain. If you feel that way, guess what? You're human. That feeling is completely normal.
And listen, this might be one of the most comforting things you'll hear today. Tawakkul is not the absence of fear. It doesn't mean you're some kind of superhero who never feels worried or anxious. Come on, that's just not realistic.
What it really is moving forward despite the fear. It's feeling that knot in your stomach and taking that next step anyway. Why? Because your heart is tied to something bigger than your problems. It's the fuel in your engine when fear is slamming on the brakes.
So here's your action plan. It's super simple. 3 steps. 1, do your part, all of it. Plan, work, give it everything you've got. 2, let go. You have to consciously leave everything you can't control to Allah. And 3, just move forward with as steady a heart as you can manage. And that brings us to the final question, the one for you to think about. When you look at your own life right now, your worries, your goals, your challenges, what camel do you need to tie today?